Have you ever met someone and thought, how are they like that? Not rich, not famous, not movie star attractive, but confident, calm, comfortable in their own skin. They walk into a room, and somehow the room adjusts. Meanwhile, the rest of us are rehearsing, hey, how's it going, in our head like it's a job interview. We overthink a text for 12 minutes. We replay a small awkward moment from 2017 while trying to fall asleep. So what's the difference? Is personality something you're born with, or is it something you build? Today, we're talking about personality development psychology, not the fake motivational stuff, not just wake up at 5 a.m. and smile aggressively advice, but the real science behind how your personality forms and how you can actually change it. First, let's clear something up. Personality is not your mood. If you're quiet at a party one night, that doesn't mean you're permanently bad at socializing. If you feel insecure sometimes, that doesn't mean you're an insecure person. Psychology sees personality as patterns, consistent ways you think, feel, and behave over time. One of the most studied models is called the Big Five personality traits. And no, it's not a boy band. The Big Five includes openness, how curious and creative you are; conscientiousness, how organized and disciplined you are; extroversion, how energized you feel around people; agreeableness, how cooperative and kind you are; neuroticism, how emotionally reactive or sensitive you are. Here's the important part. These traits are tendencies, not prison sentences. You might naturally be more introverted. That doesn't mean you can't learn social skills. You might be high in neuroticism. That doesn't mean you're doomed to anxiety forever. Personality has structure, but it also has flexibility. And this is where it gets interesting. Your personality isn't just you. It's a survival strategy your brain built over time. Think about childhood. If you grew up in a loud, chaotic environment, maybe you learned to stay quiet and observant. That became your personality. If you were praised only when you achieved something, maybe you became hyper-competitive and perfectionistic. That became your personality. If you were criticized a lot, maybe you became extra agreeable to avoid conflict. Your personality is often just a collection of coping mechanisms that worked at some point. The problem? What helped you survive at 10 years old might limit you at 25. For example, being the quiet kid kept you safe in school, but now it stops you from speaking up in meetings. Being the funny one made people like you, but now you hide your real feelings behind jokes. Being the responsible one got you praise, but now you feel guilty whenever you rest. See how this works? Personality development starts when you realize, I'm not broken, I'm patterned, and patterns can change. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to change personality through motivation. They watch one video, they feel inspired, they say, from tomorrow, I'm confident. Tomorrow comes, they avoid eye contact at the grocery store. Real personality development doesn't happen through hype, it happens through repetition. Your brain changes through experience. If you repeatedly act confident, even when you don't feel confident, your brain slowly updates its identity model. This is called behavioral activation in psychology. Action changes identity more than thoughts do. Let's say you think, I'm socially awkward. If you sit at home and try to think positively, nothing shifts. But if you start small, say hi to one stranger, ask one question in a group, share one opinion, your brain collects evidence. Oh, I survived that. Oh, that wasn't a disaster. Oh, maybe I'm not that awkward. Confidence is evidence-based. And here's the funny part. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you as harshly as you think. You walk into a room thinking everyone is looking at me. They're thinking, is my posture weird? Do I look awkward? Why did I say that? It's a room full of overthinkers assuming everyone else is judging them. Another huge part of personality development is self-awareness, not self-criticism, self-awareness. There's a difference. Self-criticism says, I'm so bad at talking, I'm useless. Self-awareness says, I get nervous in big groups. Why? What exactly triggers that? When you observe yourself like a scientist instead of a judge, you gain power. You start noticing patterns. I get defensive when I feel disrespected. I shut down when someone raises their voice. I procrastinate when I'm afraid of failing. Once you see the trigger, you can change the response. Here's something powerful. Between stimulus and response, there is a tiny gap. Most people react automatically. Someone criticizes them, they snap back. Someone ignores them, they assume rejection. Something goes wrong, they blame themselves. Personality development is learning to stretch that tiny gap. Criticism comes. Instead of reacting instantly, you pause. You think, is this useful or is this my insecurity talking? That pause is growth. Now, let's talk about identity. Your brain loves consistency. If you believe I'm lazy, your brain will look for proof. You skip the gym once, see, lazy. You work hard all week, your brain ignores it. So instead of trying to become a totally new person overnight, upgrade your identity slowly. Don't say, I'm going to be extremely disciplined. Say, I'm becoming someone who keeps small promises to myself. Then keep tiny promises. Make your bed. Read 2 pages. Do 5 push-ups. Small wins build self-trust, and self-trust is the backbone of a strong personality. Another key part of personality psychology is environment. You are not a fixed statue. You're more like clay that hardens depending on surroundings. Spend time with negative people, you'll become more defensive and cynical. Spend time with growth-oriented people, you'll naturally adopt their habits. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your environment. Even your posture affects personality signals. Stand upright, breathe deeply, and slow your movements. Your brain interprets that as safety and control. Slouch, breathe shallow, avoid eye contact. Your brain reads threat. Your body and personality are connected more than you think. And let's address something important. You don't need to become loud to be powerful. Personality development isn't about becoming an extrovert if you're introverted. It's about becoming secure. A secure introvert is calm, thoughtful, and grounded. A secure extrovert is expressive, warm, and confident. Insecurity, not introversion, is what causes discomfort. Now, here's the deeper truth. The most magnetic people are not perfect, they're integrated. They accept their strengths and weaknesses without pretending. They can say, I don't know, I was wrong, that hurt, and still feel okay. That emotional stability is attractive because most people are constantly performing, trying to look smarter, trying to look cooler, trying to look unbothered. Ironically, the more you try to impress, the more tense you become, and tension is visible. Relaxed self-acceptance is powerful. So how do you build that? Practice honesty in low-risk situations. Admit small mistakes. Express small preferences. Set small boundaries. Instead of saying yes when you mean no, try saying, I can't today. It feels scary at first, then freeing. Over time, your personality shifts from approval-seeking to self-respecting, and that changes everything. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine 2 people get rejected. Person A thinks, I'm not good enough. Person B thinks, that didn't work, let me adjust. Same event, different internal story. Your personality is shaped by the stories you repeat. If your inner voice is harsh, your personality becomes anxious. If your inner voice is supportive but honest, your personality becomes resilient. You can't always control outcomes, but you can train your internal narrator. And finally, here's the part nobody likes to hear. Personality development takes time. Real change is boring. It's not dramatic, it's not cinematic, it's not one life-changing weekend. It's small daily upgrades. Speak up once. Pause before reacting once. Keep one promise to yourself. Reflect for 5 minutes. Do that consistently for months. You won't recognize yourself. Not because you became someone else, but because you removed the protective layers that were never really you to begin with.
So maybe the goal isn't to build a brand new personality. Maybe the goal is to uncover the stable, confident version of you that's been buried under fear, habits, and old survival strategies. The calm version, the grounded version, the self-trusting version. And the best part? That version isn't reserved for naturally confident people. It's built, slowly, deliberately, on purpose. And once you understand the psychology behind it, you stop wishing you were different, and you start shaping who you become. That's personality development. Not becoming louder, not becoming someone else, but becoming more consciously you.